Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of UCD American Football. My name is Max Wolpoff, and I am happy to be joining you today on this Saturday afternoon. There was a very brief period where we thought this game was going to be played at the Dublin Rebels home stadium. However, for reasons beyond everybody's control, that is not happening, as you can tell. Live from Dublin 4, welcome to UCD Astro Field for today's contest, the only return contest of the entire season between the Rebels and UCD. UCD will be receiving to begin the game today. Back to catch this kick will be Alex Kusmarek and Sean Douglas. Sean Butler will be the one kicking it away. Actually, that is number 5, Jack Cronin. Might have to denote that he's the kickoff specialist, which is not what he was listed as on the roster. That's one of the tight ends stay for Dublin. Kick is away. Let's have some fun from Dublin 4. It's a short kick, should be returnable for UCD. Kusmarek's got it. He's got some really good space up the middle and getting great field position to start. UCD is on the march to begin today's contest. Let's meet today's starting offense, led out by quarterback Aaron Mooney. Number 17 will be taking snaps behind Sebastian Meidel, the starting center for the entirety of the season. You may notice a new name on the list. That's Sidney Pindy on the far right. Sidney will be wearing the number 85 today. This will be his first contest with the team. He's been practicing for a couple of weeks now, and he has taken the starting role at the Z receiver position to Aaron Mooney's right, traditionally, in the 2 wide receiver setup for each side. Other than that, it's Douglas and Mooney on the left, with Wiley joining Pindy on the right. Lambert, Malone, Sweeney, and Cherpiche round out the line, and Tom McKenniff will be getting the starting carries. We're grateful you've decided to join us. Drop a comment in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from today. It is 1st and 10 UCD ball to start the game. And Stu Wiley catches this one on a swing route pass. And thank you for telling me that I forgot to edit one thing. Thank you so much, Dahi. Very much appreciated, as Wiley got plenty of yards for that first down. Now that shows the correct one, it's a pass out the side, and UCD is making great work on the swing plays. Thank you so much, Dahi McShane. Much appreciated. Sometimes I'm the only one who does any of the machinations here, so it's me running the graphics, it's me running the pictures, as it looks like it is a turnover as UCD brings the defense out onto the field. I was a bit too busy noting how things work around here with the backside. I didn't track the play. That's my apologies, everybody. Rebels take possession on their first drive of the game. So that allows us a chance to meet the UCD defense. Larry Doyle and Camille Cherpiche will captain the squad today, with Adam Quinlan and Hugh O'Connor and Rory O'Dwyer finishing out the defensive line. Leo Downs and Evan Quigley are starting at corner. Kusmarek, Goggins, Polson, and Vershu round out the starting defense on this opening drive run, and it's a wrestle down in the backfield and a short loss. Rebels come into today's game at 2-3, which, for the benefit of all who want it this evening, is good enough for 5th in AFI this season. UCD coming off their first loss of the year. They went 0 for 2 on their 2-point conversion attempts, as Sam Doran gets things started on offense for the Rebels. Second and long coming up here on their first drive. Doran has a receiver moving from his left to his right, and 2 flags come in on the far side of the field. It should be noted the Rebels technically function today as the home team. This was their home game on the schedule for this year, as it is a false start procedural penalty. Hello to my dad watching in from Maryland. Thank you so much for joining us very early in the morning. This game started at about 9 in the morning local time. As you see the yellow hat on the left side of the screen, that's Dara Farrow. He's the defensive coordinator and head coach for this UCD squad. Doran lines up in the backfield, traditional four-man front for UCD. As he takes a snap with two receivers to his right, he's got a lot of heavy pressure. Ball comes out, and UCD recovered it, but it's ruled an incomplete forward pass. Third down coming up for the team in black. Rebels today enter outside of the playoff picture. Hello, Graham. Welcome in. Great to see you. Happy you've decided to tune in today. I hope to get the field audio situation figured out, but it wasn't working earlier, so have to move to a different audio setup for now. Man-to-man defense is UCD. They set Rebels back far, and it's a very short run for Audrey Barlafa, as it looks to be a fourth down punt situation coming up for the Rebels. Because you asked so nicely, Campbell, I will show you. Starting defense today that ended up getting the 3 and out here. Quigley, Quinlan, Cherpish, O'Connor, O'Dwyer, Downs, Kusmeric, Doyle, Goggins, and Poulsen and Vershu. That's the name I was given, Andrew. Back to punt is Sean Butler. He's got a heavy rush on, gets the kick away. Receiver comes all the way out toward past midfield. Sean Douglas received it. It'll be about the same starting position as the first drive of the game, as UCD turned it over, and they get the ball right back on a quick 3 and out. As I see the audience is getting back into the swing of things, we finally have a large enough audience. I'll show the starting offense once again. These may not be the guys on the field right now, as the starting offense had good field position to start. They got 2 quick long gain plays, but the second one went for a fumble, resulting in Rebels starting their first possession after the turnover. The new name is Sidney Pindy. The number he will be wearing is 85. That is one of 5 changes to the starting roster from the last game against the Belfast Trojans. Mooney sits third in the league with 10 touchdown passes this season. Mooney scanning the field, looking over his options, finds a receiver, and it's a short gain, if any, for the students on first down. The Rebels could not figure out the situation with their home field. Not sure why. That's not my business to ask. Hence the reason we're playing today's game at UCD, despite this being a home game for the black and white Rebels. UCD decked out in their road baby blues or sky blues as a handoff up the middle. Offensive line won that battle at the line of scrimmage, getting across the 45 for a short third down, 3rd and 3 coming up here. Douglas will take his position at the right side of the formation. 2 backs in the field with Mooney. Douglas goes in motion now, and someone went offside for the Rebels, but UCD was moving to get the play call, as now it looks like heavy pressure going up the middle for the Rebels, maybe selling out to stop the run here. Mooney, toss play to McKenniff. Can he get around the edge? He does. Does he have the first down? He does. Reset the chains. UCD keeps the ball moving. There is one swap of note on the starting offense. Patty Sweeney and Carl Malone, they were both on the offensive line, but they were playing right and left guard respectively. Today they swap. Sweeney is on the left, Malone is on the right. Read option handoff, and McKenniff gets a stiff arm to one. He keeps his powerful legs moving. Down to the 30-yard line he goes. And that is enough for a UCD first down. Big line to big line, 30-yard line. Got to get to the 20 to reset the chains, starting out as UCD bunches everybody toward the right side of the formation. High snap. Mooney's got to go back and get this one. It's back at midfield. He dives on top of it to keep possession for UCD on a 15-yard loss. 2nd and 25, perhaps 2nd and 24 coming up here for UCD. Mooney had an uncharacteristic bad game against the Belfast Trojans, throwing 3 interceptions as part of a losing effort, 29-12. Mooney has a much better time handling this snap from Sebastian Meidel, and this one will gain a few of the yards back. 4 yards gained. 3rd and 21. This is one of those awkward spots for UCD. If they get enough here, they might go for it. But if they get nothing on this play, I would not see any hesitation from the coaching staff to punt. Mooney's back to pass. He has 3 receivers to his left. Sean Douglas was wide open. He airs it out to the right-hand side anyway, looking for Pindy, and he does not get there. Incomplete. May have seen at the bottom of the screen, Sean Douglas was wide open and got lost in the formation. But instead, it'll be 4th and 21 from about midfield. And there's a flag on the play. So they'll reset the chains and go for 3rd down after they march off the yardage. Flag was in the backfield and the camera was not trained on it. But whatever it was, it is a 10-yard penalty, setting up a makeable 3rd and 11. This is another part of the game where I tell everybody the camera is an artificial intelligence camera. So sometimes it will get plays, sometimes it will miss them. Especially with long yardage plays, it doesn't tend to catch everything important that happens. 2 receivers each side. Douglas shifts into the left side. This changes the play call for UCD, looking into backup quarterback Tyg O'Connor and offensive coordinator Mark Lawless. McKenniff now rides shotgun. Douglas gets the play from Stu Wiley. Heavy rush on Mooney, flush to the right side, and this one sails out of reach, incomplete. 4th and 10 coming up here. Actually, I believe that's 2nd down. So the penalty that resulted in UCD getting bailed out on that long 3rd down must have been an automatic 1st down play, but it just reset them back to the original line of scrimmage that started this series of downs, hence my confusion. 4 receivers left side. Robbie Sheth is the farthest receiver. And this one's a toss play. McKenniff, and he's able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Not a whole lot on that play as it sets up 3rd and 10. Third and 10 from the 30. Mooney's got a shotgun back. He hops to receive the snap. Steps up into the pressure, looking over the head of everybody. Douglas can't get there and may have been trying to draw a penalty going into coverage. Not going to get one. It's 4th and 10. This is a tricky spot for UCD, as they're not quite far enough back on the field on their own side to go for a punt, and they're not quite close enough to make it a makeable 4th down. Given what happened on the previous series, UCD may get bailed out by a penalty if they get fortunate here. Mooney's got 2 receivers in the setup with a pistol back. Wiley goes in motion. He cuts across the snap. Mooney goes out toward him, and it's high and over his head. Incomplete. 4th down, turnover on downs. Rebels will get another offensive series following the turnover on downs. So Sam Doran will go back to work now. Three changes on the UCD starting defense. Leo Downs and Evan Quigley, as well as Adam Quinlan on the right side of the defensive line. Doran takes a shotgun snap. Looked like there was a bit of movement ahead of it, and this one goes over the side. Got a man open. Got a man down the sideline. Running free. He's into the open field. Touchdown, Rebels. Jason Kolakidis gets in the end zone for the score. This marks the second time all year UCD has trailed to start the game. Back-to-back games, giving up touchdowns before they've had the chance to score as the Rebels strike first. And now the camera has decided that the point after try is not important enough to get on the screen. Not quite sure what is going on. As Jack Cronin lines up to take this kick. Not exactly sure what's happening here, so I'm hoping that one of the officials stays in sight. And whatever happened, it was no good. All right, so it's still 6-0, even though we didn't see. So Schrodinger's extra point attempt, whatever happened, it was no good. A long touchdown completion to Jason Kolakidis has the Rebels in front. Pinckney, Michigan native. He graduated from Michigan State University in his undergraduate days. He's played flag football plenty of times in his years in the States, as UCD's offense will go back to work following the touchdown for Dublin Rebels. Kusmarek tends to line up on the left and Sean Douglas on the right to receive kickoffs. We're about set to go. Jack Cronin, he's lined up as the kickoff specialist previously, so we'll eventually get this kickoff to get UCD their third drive of the game. UCD started the game with the ball. Good afternoon from Turkey on holiday tuning in. What are you doing watching American football when you could be out exploring? I don't know what part of Turkey you're in, so I'm not sure if it's a part that I actually know anything about. Douglas receives this kick. We're back underway. Douglas running into tacklers, and he slips at the 30. Finally touchdown by Tiernan Butler, and the offense will get started once again. Fumble and turnover on downs go the results so far for the UCD team in Sky Blue. Hosting today, but technically seen as the visitors, as Rebels, in need of a win to improve their spot in the playoffs, have the early lead. Currently thunderstorms in the part of Turkey you're visiting. Well, I can't do anything about that. Mooney takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws it out again. Wiley stops, pivots, gets the ball, and he'll run over a tackler, get beyond the sticks, make it a good first down gain. Kenny McCarthy on the stop. UCD has liked turning to Wiley so far in the early downs here for this game. Second and about 4. Handoff is to, I believe, Kusmerik. And he'll throw that in. Nope, that's Jack Finnegan, 33. We're grateful for all of you to have joined us so far on this stream. Leave a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We've already had some good international flavor. A couple of people tuning in from the States. Some people tuning in from Turkey or France. Fake the handoff. Mooney rolls out right. He's going to run now. He's got a lot of speed in those legs, and he gets about 4 yards. Tackle results in a flag from the backside of the field. Let's see what the call is. And this is going to be a hold against UCD. Or not? The signal is going toward the Rebels sideline, not to where the camera is situated. So I'm not totally sure what's happening here. Whatever it is a UCD penalty. And this will march the play back 10 yards. First and 20. Starting to sound like backyard football here for anybody who remembers that computer game franchise. I sure do. Mooney will set for the snap. He's got one receiver to his right. He's going to go that direction, looking for Pindy, getting that first reception, and it's broken up, incomplete. Had a one-on-one shot, and the safety stopped it. Looks like a good breakup for Michael Masari, as it's second and forever. UCD driving toward County Meath on this fine Saturday afternoon. And this one is, again, another low throw, incomplete. Third and 20. UCD's offense sputtering following the exam break. I think sputtering's the best word I can come up with for it. 2 receivers each side, shotgun back. Looks like we got motion from the right. Offensive line stands and waits for the next call. 3 receivers right. And penalty before the game. Timeout from UCD, I believe. That would make the most sense. Early goings of this first quarter, and UCD's offense seems all out of sorts. Mark Lawless not thrilled with his results so far. Chief, got glad to see the weather here is the same as yours today. Yes, it looks like overcast skies with some sun, and there is rain in the forecast for Dublin today. Not sure when it will come. Rain here tends to operate like Florida. It could rain at any time, or it could never rain. Happy to see you tuning in, Chief. Early goings of this game, a long touchdown pass to Jason Kolakidis. The only score so far for the Rebels, they missed on their point after try. As UCD's offense looking to get reset. Their last game before the exam break was a 40-0 victory over the University of Limerick, who they have had their own struggle scoring points this season. But UCD, second best offense in the country now following the loss to Belfast Trojans. A long third down play, 20 yards to get to the sticks on the opposite 39. Mooney has a free rusher up the edge. He gets it receiver to Sheth, and it's a procedural penalty, and UCD will back up even further. They had Sheth open on a slant route, and he could not go further because of the false start. 3rd and 25. Play clock will start to wind. 3 receivers to the right, to the left, and 1 to the right. Dublin sends 5. They got a rusher up the middle. He gets around free. Mooney dancing in the pocket, throws to his underneath route, McKenniff. McKenniff going to have to make a lot of guys miss to get the first down. He makes one man miss, but can't get beyond the second level tackle. As it's Dylan Paisley on the stop to bring up 4th and 15. Maybe 16. Punt formation for UCD. They do have a new punter today, and it is their newest player, Sidney Pindy. Pindy gets his first punt of the day, and it's a booming sky-high kick that takes a friendly UCD roll. Received and immediately hit is Kenny McCarthy. Rebels was Jason Kolakidis in a long touchdown pass on a slant route over the middle from, call it the offensive 30 on their half of the field. Offense goes back to work for the Dublin Rebels. Punt and then touchdown with no extra point kick going through. As Doran lines up to receive the snap, the Dublin native has motion coming down the side, and this one is caught, I believe. Yes, it is caught. Jack Cronin the catch, and a gang tackle stops him. Short gain for second down and about 6. Doran and the Rebels will back up here. As UCD, with a victory today, will secure themselves a spot in the AFI playoffs. Second and 6, looks like press man coverage on the right side of the formation. They'll hand it off on a run play. Not going to get the full length of the field is Andre Barlafa. And they will set up for a 3rd and 1. Dublin needs to win at least one of their final 3 games to have a chance at the playoffs, and today they play UCD. The Rebels will then play the Belfast Knights and the University of Limerick. Shotgun snap comes here. They will hand it off. Nope, running quarterback fake. This one's a pass out, and it's dropped incomplete. Had a man open, had plenty of yards in front of him. Tommy Breslin could not haul it in. 4th and 1, and a decision here for the Rebels. As looks like there's some confusion on this, as a penalty was called. Penalty sets up about 10 yards, so may have been a defensive hold. I missed the signal, whatever it was, so... Oh, no, end of quarter. My bad. So at the end of 1, Rebels have a decision to make on this 4th down play. Yep. Thanks, Mark Davidson. My bad on assuming that was just the end of the drive. Thank you, Woodbridge, Connecticut, tuning in, and looks like Dublin is lined up in punt formation here. This is definitely potential fake territory, so UCD's got to be ready. He's back, and nobody touches the kicker on this punt. This one's going to take a friendly Dublin hop, and it will roll inside the 10. UCD will get the ball for the first time in this second quarter. They failed to convert on any of their 3 drives so far. Fumble, turnover on downs, and punt in the first quarter of action. Any flags for sufficient footballing yet? No, come to think of it. There have been remarkably few flags for an American football Ireland game. Those of you who have tuned in on UCD's games previously in the season, greetings from Delaware. Hello, Uncle Greg. Yeah, there have not been a whole lot of flags in today's game. Mooney has the pass. He will toss it backward. And met close to the line of scrimmage. Yes, there is plenty of time left after this first down run. Goes for a few positive yards. Second down following the play from Jack Finnegan. Mooney gets the snap again. Fakes the handoff, got Douglas over the side, and it's complete. Way to haul it in. Dara Mooney hanging on to that ball through traffic, sets up another first down. UCD playing from behind for just the second time this season. After last week's loss to the Belfast Trojans, Rebels strike first after a long passing play to Jason Kolakidis. Here's a run. This one's got plenty of blocking up ahead, and it's a great 11 to 12-yard run. UCD is in business now. Ball situated at the 37. Halfway line is the 45 because this is a converted rugby pitch. Handoff once again. This one will not go for as many yards, but it does still get positive momentum. As that's now Anthony Onwuka coming in to take this snap. He cannot get around the defender. Kenny McCarthy brings him down for a 2-yard loss. 3rd and 7 for UCD. Rebels come into this game 5th place in the AFI standings. First one out of the playoff picture, with the Cork Admirals occupying the 4th spot. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and a shotgun back. Wiley cuts across this formation. Mooney's going to go for it all. Airing it out long. Got triple coverage. It's intercepted again. Kolakidis playing defense, bringing it all the way back, and UCD can't strip the fumble as Mooney went for it all and got robbed on triple coverage down the field. The triple coverage play did not work out as UCD was hoping. And the defense is back on for the 4th time today. Tough sledding so far for the students in sky blue. However, the bright spot here, other than one explosive play, Dublin's offense hasn't done much either. Durant has an extra lineman at the front to protect him. Heavy rush from 5, and Durant is going to be taken down, gagged, tackled in the back for a sack. 2nd and 14 coming up, as Hugh O'Connor among those who broke through. Hugh O'Connor had the strip sack scoop and score for UCD in the previous game against the Belfast Trojans. Second and long setting up here. Shotgun back with 3 receivers and a tight end. Duran takes. Running back stays into pass protect. Got the ball through. Had a man open. Cronin dropped it at the first down line. We're thrilled you've decided to make us part of your Saturday entertainment, as the Dublin Rebels face a 3rd and 13. I'm sure he will tell you the same thing about himself. Graham Selling, he's one of the most underrated players in the league, and I tend to agree. He continues to make a lot of the smart plays that make him such a dangerous threat at the defensive tackle position. Doran and the Rebels have a long way to go. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Early movement, and everybody's got to stop. I spotted Joe Kraus, 15, among those who was moving early. And the signal apparently is for a false start on the Rebels, but I didn't get a specific look in the camera. So this just made 3rd down much harder for the visitors in black, who are acting as the home team today. Were unable to secure their home field for today's contest, but they keep the distinction of being the home team. Doran, a 5-man rush. It's a low snap. He rolls out to his left, has heavy pressure on him, and it's sailed over the top. Incomplete. Wanted Breslin. Rebels will bring out punt formation again. Aside from a single explosive play to separate these 2 teams, offenses have been sputtering, and the defenses have looked great. Cronin is back for this kick, and it's a short kick. Does not look to be returnable, as this is Dublin Rebels ball. That hit off of one of the men in coverage for UCD, and Dublin's offense is going to get a gift and go back out onto the field after a muffed punt. The Rebels will set up from the 38-yard line following a fielding error on a line drive kick. So let's see if the Rebels can turn it into something. 2 receivers each side with a shotgun back. Doran takes the snap, rushes up the middle. Got a man up the side, and it's intercepted! UCD will turn them over, going back toward midfield, going down the sideline, down the enemy sideline, and UCD takes the ball. There's a flag in the play. The signal from UCD is it's going to be on the Rebels, and the offense is going to march out onto the field in quick response. I didn't get a clear shot of the number, so I'm asking a contact on the sideline who had that. So part of the trouble that I have with calling these games is that in order to monitor the chat on this side of the screen, the actual play that I get is in a small box. It's almost like watching, the YouTube videos when you start it and it's not on full screen. So that's about the amount of space I have to watch this game. And sometimes, especially when the camera goes blurry, not exactly the greatest at picking up the small features. For the 5th time today, UCD's offense takes the field. Mooney has it. This one's a backward pass. It's caught, and it's going to have some positive yards for UCD. Over to the sideline on that first down play that nets about 3 yards. McKenna had that on the swing route. 2nd and 7. Two receivers each side. Got a man floating, and it's a heavy hit. Incomplete. And indeed, Graham, you are correct. It was Dan Vershu. Third and long, setting up after the second down incompletion. Wiley comes in as the H-back with Douglas off the line on the left side. Mooney has a low snap to his left. He'll throw over the middle, and this one's incomplete to nobody in particular, as it looks like Mooney is claiming that he was impeded on his route. And UCD is going to play field position and bring out the punt unit. Pindy will line up 14 yards back for the snap from Dara Mooney, as UCD gets a gift on the interception but are unable to turn it into points. Pindy will take, and it's a booming sky-high kick. This one will take a Rebels bounce, and it will drop inside the 15. UCD's defense goes back out into the field. This is Rebels' 5th drive of the day. Punt, touchdown, punt, interception. Go their previous 4. As it is a 6-0 lead, closing in on halfway through this second quarter. I don't have access to a clock that tells me specifically how much time is left. I am at the mercy of the officials on the field to tell me when there is a 2-minute warning, because that's really the only time I know, other than the start and end of a quarter, how much time is left. Liam Martin will take back over the ball as he sends it back to Doran. Doran, a toss play. Got 2 blockers up the side. It gets toward the sideline, and Barlafa is dragged out of bounds on the first down gain. UCD can clinch a playoff berth with a victory today, and after 2 weeks off, the students will face the South Dublin Panthers at home for the home finale, followed by a trip north to visit the Craigavon Cowboys. To finish the year, they currently sit 2nd in AFI, and this second down play, Doran, another toss play, yet more receivers blocking on this field, and it's a 1st down and 10 setting up here as the sun begins to peek out on UCD Astro Field in Dublin 4. The Rebels are on the march toward the northwest end zone. 1st and 10, the setup from the 36. Dara Farrow calling out signals to his defense, trying to keep the Rebels off the board as long as possible in this 6-0 game. Doran, it's a low snap. They eventually shovel it out again to Barlafa, and Barlafa is met in the backfield and stopped. 3rd time they've run that toss play, and this time it goes for negative yards. The receiver far out to the left is Tommy Breslin. Motion toward him. Somebody will join. Doran looking over the top, and a receiver slips, and it's incomplete. Not sure what the plan was there. Third down and long coming for the Rebels. Happy to see all the new viewers tuning in now. It's second quarter of action. Rebels have one touchdown throw from Sam Doran, a pass to Jason Kolakidis, who had a long run going for the end zone. Other than that, both offenses have struggled to move the ball today. Doran takes pressure up the middle. Doran running for his life. He's going to be tackled. The ball comes out and it's dropped incomplete. Intended target Cronin, and it's hit out of his hands. Fourth and long coming up for the Rebels. UCD will bring on their punt formation. A 6-0 lead for the Rebels is what separates the two sides. UCD's offense yet to get out of first gear. Here's Kolakidis set up behind the line for the far kick. He'll take the snap. UCD gives him a rush. And this one is easier to field for Sean Douglas, who is not able to get very far before three Rebels, including Andre Barlafa, stop him. As UCD now sets up for their third drive of the quarter. Six punts so far today. UCD muffed one of them and gifted a possession back to the Rebels, with Dan Vershu immediately intercepting Dublin. Aaron Mooney sets ready to take the snap once the officials give him the ready for play. High snap, it's a toss, it's a run play up the middle. Goes for about 6 yards, sets up a second and short. Elsewhere in the playoffs, in the primer, the Trojans are the only team so far to clinch a playoff spot. They'll finish the season against winless Limerick, and they'll end the year against the South Dublin Panthers. It's a short toss, and this one, fight for the ball. It goes for positive yards. Kolakidis could not haul it away from Stu Wiley, as UCD gets the best result they can to set up 3rd and 4. Belfast Knights, they came back into the win column following a 45-zip victory over South Dublin, and they'll end the season against the Admirals on June 15th. Mooney, back to throw. Mooney's got a man open, gets the ball to him. A slip for extra yards, could not get more. But a first down nonetheless, as UCD is past the midfield line. And the officials are signaling with one another. It's not a flag for excessive footballing, but it is a stop and play for excessive footballing. There's plenty of time for things to go south. UCD stacks 2 receivers on the left side. 2 men spread out on the right. Swing up the middle. And this one gets beyond a couple of defenders. Shake and bake move. It's a first down, UCD. Running back wheel route goes for 14. As we've got a timeout for a looks to be injured player on the defensive side of the ball. That's one player on the Rebels. I can't see a number. First down run goes for good yards as the EMTs will start walking out. Plenty of time for questions if anybody's got them. Otherwise, I'll keep talking about the playoffs, as that's about a month away. Cork, they've won each of their last 3, and they're on the positive side of the point differential following a shutout win over Limerick. They are off this week, but they will face the Craigavon Cowboys on June 8th. And Cork will face the Belfast Knights to end the year. And it could be a battle for positioning, with the Knights in 3rd and the Admirals currently in 4th. As Knights, they've only got one more game left. Outside the playoff picture, it's Rebels in 5th, Panthers in 6th, and the Cowboys in 7th, all within a game of each other. Panthers, they play UCD and then the Trojans to finish the year, so that's a pretty tough path for South Dublin. The Cowboys have a direct route, though, into the 4th spot. If they can defeat the University of Limerick tomorrow, and they have a head-to-head matchup with the team in 4th currently, the Admirals, the following week. However, the Cowboys do have to play UCD to end their year. Play resets on this first down as Mooney starts the throw, going to the pylon, and a leaping grab, can't make it incomplete. Wanted Dara Mooney down the sideline. Shout out to Peacock, talking about pilgrimage to Lords. Incredible. Happy to see you, Mr. Moo. Good to see that you've tuned in to take a look at the rest of the action in the league so far. 2nd and 10, UCD offense sputtering so far throughout today's game. Fumble, turnover on downs, punt, interception, and punt. Mooney takes the 2nd and 10 snap, gets it out over the side, and gets all the yards he can before stumbling. As there is a flag on the play and a timeout for an injured player. Someone for the Rebels down. The 2-minute warning has not happened yet, Coach Big. EMTs were busy on the previous play with somebody for the Rebels, so have to be called back into duty. It is going to be a 3rd down and short if the play stands, but there is a flag situated on the far side of the field, given that the ball is spotted with a 3rd and looks like about 3. As whoever it was able to go back to the Rebels sideline under their own power. It looked like 52 Tyg Fitzsimmons, but I couldn't quite make out the initial number. The signal was for a penalty against the Rebels. Whatever it is, UCD declines the penalty. Actually, I believe they've taken the penalty, so it's the down counter still says 2nd. So they save the down and take the yards. Mooney's got 2 receivers each side as he scans the field. He'll turn to his left, down the sideline, got a man open, got it complete inside the 15 for the first time today. Three receivers bunched spread out wide to the right. Line holds for Mooney. Mooney goes that direction. Got Douglas, got Wiley, overshoots Wiley, undershoots Douglas, incomplete, sets up 2nd down and 10. Mooney has a pistol back. 3 receivers again to the right, 1 to the left. Mooney, toss play. Running back's got a lot of room just to get back to that line of scrimmage. He's going to get positive yards, but not much as a flag comes in from the far side. Rebels players Kenny McCarthy and Jesus Aguilar were chatting with the referee as it looks like a holding call against UCD to back them up even further. 2nd and 10 inside the 15 just became 2nd and 20. As Jesus Aguilar is still talking with the referees before they march the penalty back. Not 100% sure what this conversation is about. Happy to see everybody. A lot of familiar faces in the chat today for UCD and Dublin Rebels, the only return fixture of the season. As now the officials will give an explanation to UCD's team. As the chain gang is very confused. The people on the chains thought they were moving, and instead it's just the down tracker moving. Because the Rebels are the home team, they brought their own crew to do the chains today. So now a 2nd and 20 coming up for UCD. The hosts in Sky Blue are acting as the visiting team today. 3 receivers will now turn to the left side. The play on the right hash mark. The only one on the right is Sidney Pindy. Everybody else is on the left. Low snap to Mooney. He takes it. Mooney going over the top, has 3 coverage on him, and it's dropped incomplete. Fortunate break for UCD not to turn the ball over. Sets up 3rd down and 20 to go. It is at this range that it is worth repeating. UCD does not kick field goals. So if they fail to get the 1st down or fail to even get close here, they will likely still go for it rather than kicking a long field goal, as some teams might in this situation. 3 receivers bunch set to the left side and a pistol back. Mooney's going to roll out left. And he's calling his own number now. Gets the pass over. It's broken up, incomplete. Great coverage that time from Joe Kraus, the linebacker, as it's now a long 4th down here. UCD is too close to punt it. Offensive line gets set. It'll be 2 receivers to each side. Pindy and Douglas on the right, Wiley and Mooney on the left. Wiley's going to shift out toward the right. Mooney's got the ball. Mooney rolls right. Mooney's going to air it out, and he's got a little bit of room on the left. Jump ball here, and it's broken up. The Rebels take control off the 4th down miss. Six drives, no scores for UCD, as the Rebels get the ball right back, closing in on the end of the half. Back in the first game of the season, tuning in from Hong Kong. Good evening to you, Hando Hanners. Happy to see you've tuned in again. As I was going to say earlier, this is the team that UCD kicked up and down the field 40-0 in the first game of the season. And a team that has lost most of their previous games. Duran had a little trouble with that snap as it came to his left side, and Duran will slide following the short play. He keeps the ball in bounds, so the clock will wind. 2nd and long coming up here. UCD only has 2 timeouts remaining. Rebels have all 3. We are closing in on the end of the half. As you may be able to see, Dan Vershu, number 44, already with an interception today, heading back into more of a center field role. Should the Rebels try anything over the top? Down counter is not moving and neither are the players, so I'm not 100% sure what that signal was from the official today. As now the back judge is going to come even closer to his... Man, I'm not sure what's going on out there. And the Rebels look like they're just going to take a knee. Guess the 2-minute warning had happened, and I just missed it. So the Rebels will end the half with the football in a 6-0 lead on the long touchdown throw to Jason Kolakidis. So, halftime, everybody. Who's got questions? We got plenty of time before the game picks up. I will say, I want to try something. So everybody in the comments, please stick with me on this one. We were having some trouble getting the field audio on top of being able to listen to me. So I'm hoping this works. All right. Well, that was a nice idea while it lasted. So I was trying to use the Bluetooth headphones that I've used for the bulk of the season, but for whatever reason, the streaming service that we use to connect to YouTube would not let me change the microphone to the headphones. Otherwise, it would have been the microphone that's just built into the computer, which is not that good. So really sorry that we can't get the field audio on top of the audio of me talking to you, because it's definitely a much better viewing experience if you're able to hear the field and hear me. But this is another one of the troubles of remote broadcasts that I am not normally a fan of. Sorry, everybody. But for the time being, we've got halftime questions and a lot of people to thank. Definitely our fans showed up for the previous game against the Belfast Trojans. We had our most successful donation drive of the year. We had everybody tuning in. We had a lot of people donating. We had family members donating from the players. We had casual listeners donating. And I can't thank all of you enough for being part of UCD's most successful donation game of the season. Thank you to everybody who donated. Your support means so much to a small club like ours. That said, if you're interested in reprising your role as great donors and great stewards of this club, the Revolut link and the PayPal link are both on the screen right now. Thank you so much to all of you who donated. We are incredibly grateful for each and every one of you who have helped make UCD American football possible this year. We are grateful for each and every one of you for tuning in on these streams. We're grateful for all of you who make this part of your Saturdays or your Sundays and your entertainment. We know you could be anywhere in the world doing anything you want because most of us live in a free country. For us, it's very vital that you've chosen to be part of our existence. You've chosen to be part of our club in this small way. So thank you to all of you. And if you're enjoying today's stream, if you want more, please consider a donation. We are a small club. We do have a lot of year-end expenses. I remember when we were going over the numbers with our equipment manager, Dan Vershu, his immediate first thought was, wow, that's going to pay for a lot of equipment, because the equipment department, in his estimation, had the most cost overruns of all of the people on the all the people involved. So if you've got questions, we've got plenty of time before the second half begins. UCD trailing by 6 to the Dublin Rebels. The Rebels will receive the ball to start the second half of action. You know, normally this is part of the game where everybody's got questions to ask and things to talk about, but you guys are relatively quiet today. How many players on each squad today? So this may take a minute for me to count UCDs, because I'll do the Rebels one because they have it all on one list. Give me a second, everybody. "36 players for the Dublin Rebels. And it may take a little bit for me to spot UCD because we've got a couple of players who both play offense and defense as well as special teams. So I may miss a couple. I may double count some. So give me a second. I've got 43 for UCD, but that might be an inaccurate count, considering I may have double counted a couple of players who are playing different positions on the depth chart today. So 36 and 43. Hope that answers your question, Hando Hanners. Definitely did occupy some time because that was a little bit harder than I thought it would be. Rebels with the lead over UCD. One long touchdown pass is all that separates the two teams today. If you have more questions, this is the time to get them in. Halftime of a 6-0 game. Plenty of space to talk about. There's been a lot of 3-and-out drives or limited gain drives for both squads. UCD, the only team that took a timeout in that first half. When is the next game and who is UCD playing? So UCD will next play the South Dublin Panthers in the home finale. And I'm going to my phone to check my calendar to make sure that I have the correct date for this. It'll be Sunday, the 15th of June, Father's Day, because apparently the schedule makers just decided we were going to play on Father's Day. However, I will say, you may have noticed on the stream, on the YouTube channel today, UCD will be hosting the first week of the new Women's Flag Football League, the CLADA League, that AFI is organizing for the first time this year. These women will be taking they'll be taking the field at UCD. I'm unsure about location specifically. However, they will be taking the field for a full day of games starting at 10 in the morning Dublin time. So it's going to be an early wake up for those tuning in from the United States. UCD plays the first game of the day, as I go to my schedule, starting at 10 a.m. against the Louth Mavericks. Then they'll face the Dublin Redbows, who are the flag football team of the Dublin Rebels, at 11:15. The South Dublin Panthers will then take on the Louth Mavericks at 12:30. The Louth Mavericks will then play the Dublin Redbows at 1:45 for their final games of the day. And the last game of the day, scheduled to start at 3 p.m., will be the South Dublin Panthers versus UCD. The plan, as of now, is for me to call all 5 games at UCD. We're hopeful that people can tune in, people can join, as it looks like UCD breaking their huddle, down by 6 and a lot of time to go. So the next live stream will be the CLADA League Week 1. As of now, there's no plan to also live stream the other 5 weeks of the season. However, for UCD to be hosting the round-robin style tournament, we felt it was important to showcase UCD as the host school, or the host area, I should say, because not every university team is going to be playing. However, the next UCD AFI game is Father's Day, Sunday, June 15th, against the South Dublin Panthers in the home finale. The next Sunday, the next Saturday is going to be the game against the Craigavon Cowboys. He says, forgetting whether it was Sunday or Saturday. Yep, it is Sunday, the 22nd. That'll be UCD's final road trip. Apologies, everybody. My Wi-Fi was on the fritz for a moment, as it's running 2 computers, 2 phones. Rebels will receive the kickoff from Will Lambert to start this third quarter of action, up by 6. UCD will be defending the southeast end zone, and Dublin will attack the northwest. as we revert to the orientation of the first quarter. Again, apologies everybody about the field audio not being able to come through at the same time as my headset. I'm hoping by tomorrow we can have that sorted out, because it's going to be a long day starting at 10 in the morning and ending sometime around 5. Rebels have their kick return unit set, and UCD lines it up at the 30. With one swing of Lambert's leg, we will be back underway. Let's have some more fun from Dublin 4. Rebels field this kick. They're going to return it out of the end zone. And it's met at the 20-yard line. A stop at the 24. What's on tomorrow? It is flag football all day from 10 a.m. to about 5, featuring UCD and 4 other teams as part of the new CLADA League that AFI began sponsoring this season. The championships of which will be part of the Championship Day triple header on July 19th. It'll be the first place game of the day, followed by the Harp Bowl between Division 1 teams, and then it'll be the main event, the Shamrock Bowl, number 37, if my math is correct. Sorry, reading Roman numerals is difficult, and I don't always remember the 7s and the 8s. Sam Doran takes the offense back onto the field as they lead by 6. 2 receivers were spread out and fumbled here as the running back able to hang on to it. Tough play for Niall Nolan. Ball hit his chest and bounced out. Play was alive. It results in a loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Predictions for the Harp Bowl. Milk Tray, I have not watched a second of Division 1 action, so any prediction I give will be based on little more than eyesight of the records. I have a hard time picking against the Mavericks or the Minotaurs, so I guess we'll see. Tipped at the line, and it gets around, a rally to the ball, and this is a completed pass out of bounds. Cronin had the catch, and 3 men met him. Didn't look like he gained any yards. 3rd and forever coming up here for the Rebels. As in the sunlight, the UCD yellow numbers that work so well with cloud cover start to be illegible. So that's my way of saying I don't have a great read on what's going to happen in the Division 1 championship. Snap to Doran, staying into pass protect. Out to the side, broken up, incomplete. Covered that time Liam Polson, as UCD will force the punt unit to come out for the Rebels on their first drive. As you might have imagined, there were a lot of stern words being spoken during the halftime interval between UCD's coaching staff and its team, as well as its captains. And the limited interval that we turned the field audio on, you may have been able to hear Captain Larry Doyle talking with his team, not happy with their performance so far today, and understandably so. UCD, with a victory today, can clinch a spot in the playoffs. They will have to do so coming from behind. Has Dublin taken a timeout? I have no choice but to believe so, because the play clock has run out forever. Did the game start at 3? No, the game started at 2. I have no choice but to believe Dublin took a timeout there. That's the only reason the special teams unit ran over the coaching staff. And heavy rush gets it over the top. UCD has already muffed one kick. Douglas receives this one cleanly, and he'll power forward close to that line to gain at the halfway point. From the 43, UCD will start the half. Fumble, turnover on downs, punt, interception, punt, turnover on downs. Go UCD 6 drives in the first half. Aaron Mooney stands back behind Sebastian Meidel to reset. Handoff play, rush up the right side. And the outside zone run goes for about 7 yards. Mooney will set again, 3 receivers to his left, 1 to the right. The motion receiver got a key block up the middle of the side, and this one's a long run, nearly breaking free, breaking through down to the 30. Tackled in bounds, clock will wind. UCD gets 2 rush plays to reset the chains for another first down. From the 29, as a key block came from number 19, Alex Kusmarek, the do-it-all receiver, defensive back, safety. And it's another rushing play. This one's going to go up the middle, and a lot of yards coming UCD's way. First down inside the 15. Second time today, UCD has been this close to the goal line. They turned it over on downs their last time this close. A touchdown will tie the game. Mooney will set, 3 receivers to his right, snap from the middle of the field. Receiver coming in motion. It's a handoff that does not result in positive yards, to put it mildly. New running back will sub on, as a loss of about 3 on the first down play brings up 2nd and long. Got to get to, looks like the 3 or the 4 to reset the chains. Mooney back to throw. First throw of the drive. He gets it out complete. Have a powerful run down inside the 5. Stumbling, bumbling, and it's short of the goal line, but it looks like a first down. Yes, it is. First and goal from inside the 3. And, nope, it's short. Not by much. The down counter is sitting right beside, as the artificial intelligence camera has decided this play is not important enough to see. And UCD calls a timeout. Their first of the half. So the AI camera didn't show me what was going on there, as UCD lined up for the 3rd down and short play. As for whatever reason, it's just not turning to the left. And finally it does. UCD has brought out tractor formation. Kusmarek's got it, and they'll stop the snap before the play can get off for some reason. This is one of the troubles of this AI camera. It is trained to keep as many people in the shot as possible, and with the Rebels sideline all bunched up together, as whatever it was, it didn't result in any issues. They changed the power to the right side. Snap comes, it's low. They'll rush to the left, powering forward, and it will get, looks like over the first down line. UCD claims touchdown. No signal from the stripes. Whenever this play result, it is a first down. So UCD gets the first down to reset the chains off of tractor formation. So it's first down and goal. UCD keeps the same bodies on the field. Snap again, run to the right, and this one is punched through. What's the signal, everybody? Initial call is touchdown, UCD. We've got a tie game. Looked like Kusmarek on the touchdown run. He is the back in the tractor formation. And it looks like they'll back up a couple of yards from the previous snap and try it again for the 2-point conversion. This one for the lead. And it's a tricky snap. And it results in no points. So UCD takes the first drive of the quarter and drives all the way down the field for the touchdown, utilizing their heavy set formation to get into the end zone for 6. We've got a new ball game here at 6-all. We're thrilled you've decided to join us for this American Football Ireland action. Drop a comment in the chat if you haven't already. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I've already had my family chime in from the DMV, the District, Maryland, and Virginia, as well as the Delaware area. We've had people chiming in from Connecticut. We've had people chiming in from France. We've had people chiming in from Turkey. We've had someone tune in from Hong Kong. So if you can beat Hong Kong for distance away from UCD, more power to you. Please tell me. I always like playing this game with myself of how far away is our furthest away listener. And today, Hando Hanners has that record at Hong Kong. Will Lambert will kick off for the second time today, as it is a tie game. Rebels stutter step, and they'll field this kick. It's a kick toward the right side of the defensive formation, and looks as though it's a touchback. County down. All right, that's not that far. UCD's defense comes back onto the field, including the touchdown runner Alex Kusmarek from the previous drive. First and 10 set up from the 20. Big line to big line. Got to get to the 30. Up and down. I would be so confused. Meeting somebody from County down is actually they're going to set from the 25, as that's where the touchback line normally is. Tuning in from Amsterdam. Happy to see you, Andrew. I've heard Amsterdam is lovely this time of year. I've never been this time of year, actually. The one time I went was, I don't remember what season it was when I went. Fuerteventura. Good to see, Graham. 2 receivers to the left, an extra lineman in on the right-hand side of the formation. UCD brings the rush from the left. Duran gets the pass away, and it's broken up incomplete. Receiver was going down about 7 yards. It was spring. Thank you to my dad who chimed in and remembered that we went to Amsterdam as a family once. Beautiful city. I'd go back tomorrow. Kind of can't because I have professional obligations here. Second and 10 setting up for the Rebels. Their lone scoring drive was a long touchdown slant pass to Jason Kolokitis on their second drive of the game. Bunch formation tight to the right-hand side with a wide out, and it's another pitch play. They've tried this to good effect in the previous drive. Looked like the ball may have come free. Dublin packed it as Dublin receives. You know, it's actually interesting. I didn't like the Weed Museum when I went in Amsterdam. It's, I think, the only one in the world that has a museum dedicated to marijuana. It was an interesting museum. I just didn't like it going around. It was certainly interesting. It taught me a lot, but just something about walking around there didn't make me feel okay. I was also definitely too young to experience it when I went. Pass play, bulk up the middle, and Doran is going down. Door slammed shut. Third down and forever coming up here. As Doran and the Rebels unable to get anything going on this, their second drive of the quarter. Another 3 and out. Punt formation comes on. Sean Douglas is normally the return man for UCD, but the camera is keeping the other 21 players in view here. Quick snap off the set. Punt gets away. Douglas has plenty of room to return it, maybe, as I didn't even see him field it. O'Connell Street is an open air museum. You know, Jer, I'm not going to dispute that. I've walked O'Connell Street many a time because it's sort of the bus terminus for southern routes going up toward River Liffey and northern routes coming down toward River Liffey. And boy, does it smell bad almost all the time. Pat Duffy tuning in from Lisbon. Happy to see you, Pat. Hando Hanners, I'm not sure if this is a new home kit for the Rebels, as this is the only home kit I've seen them wear. Granted, I don't have access to previous year's games other than the Shamrock Bowl. Mooney takes the snap and hands it off. It's a run up the middle. They had great success with this in the previous drive, as it is a pile up, pushing the pile, and apparently nobody's going to call for a whistle as UCD gets him down. That was an extra 8-9 yards just pushing the pile, as Brian Malloy and Kenny McCarthy among those trying to stop the momentum of Tom McKenna. If it did not work. We have confirmation from somebody for the Rebels. It is new this year. They tighten the formation to the right side with 4 in the backfield, receivers all on the line. It's another run, and this one gains 2 yards maybe. Among those in on the stop is Aguilar. 2nd and 9. UCD does not huddle. They get the signals from the sideline, and everybody knows what they're supposed to look at. Keep the same formation. It's a run for McKenna. A lot of room. Great blocking out ahead. McKenna cannot get around a leg wrap. And it's a first down, but not for Joe Kraus. That could have been more. UCD shut out in the first half of the game, scored on their first drive of the third quarter. Same formation with a receiver out toward extra receiver out toward the right. They fake the snap, going out left, and watching the players see a reaction, and it is a touchdown for UCD. As I get connection, it is Dara Mooney for the score. The brothers connect on a touchdown pass. So UCD takes their first lead of the game, as it is now 12-6. The camera missed the catch, and the camera is also going to miss this 2-point try that UCD loves to do. Not 100% sure what's going on here. I'm just watching the white-hatted official to see what the potential signal is because the players aren't shown. And finally, a few players get shown as it is a handoff from Mooney, and it's a push of the pile, and the Rebels stop the play. No conversion. So UCD now 0 for 2 on the day on 2-point conversions. They were 59% entering the game today, but they lead by 1 touchdown here in this third quarter. 2 straight scoring drives. Yeah, sometimes the AI camera captures exactly what it's supposed to, and other times, just like other artificial intelligence programs, it doesn't give you what you want. We've had our laughs about the VO camera setup throughout the course of the season. However, I am grateful that we have a camera at all to show everybody the game. Because otherwise, my role would be kind of stupid here. Although, as evidenced by the Week 3 game, I can call a game off of ticker tape. That was a fun time. Will Lambert will give a swing of his right leg. He wears 2 different style shoes, one to play offensive line, the other to kick the ball. As it is fielded inside the 10. Racing out beyond the 25. Dublin Rebels got a great return out of this one, past the 40 to the 41. Rebels will start with incredible field position for their third drive of the quarter. Back in the middle of the field goes UCD's defense. As what does Sam Doran have now that the Rebels come in down by 6? Sun and clouds alternating here for UCD and the Rebels. Doran, a high snap at his eye level, looking over the middle and had a man open. It was Kolakitis trying to reprise their touchdown connection from earlier, unable to do so. 2nd and 10. As the down counter has yet to reset itself. I can assure you that was first down. This isn't going to be a 5th down situation like Colorado had years ago, and now the down counter resets itself. Shout out to anybody who knows the 5th down story. That was a fun one. If you watch the whole sequence, it's available on YouTube somewhere. I'm not sure who. I don't remember who posted it. Doran holds, fakes the handoff, rolling out to his right, has a man, gets it to him, and gets the receiver in. Looked like Cronin on the reception. It was. Short gain sets up a 3rd and call it 7. Not sure what the cameras decided to look at now as we eventually get the camera reset. Middle of the field, got to get 7 for the first down. One receiver wide to the left. Kolakitis is going to join him. On the motion play, they rush up the middle. Doran's in trouble. He goes down. 3rd and 7 becomes 4th and forever. As the Rebels offense stays cold coming out of halftime. Had a late rush from the linebacker position, allows UCD to force the Rebels into a punt. As officials' crew were having a hard time spotting the football. They eventually place it at the 34. Late runner on was Brian Malloy, second-year player from Tullamore, as he gets set up in formation. Punt comes, and it gets away. Douglas has it, and it's a fair catch call. So Rebels go punt, punt, punt on their first 3 drives of the second half. UCD goes touchdown, touchdown in their first 2, as they come out for drive number 3 of the third quarter. First down starting at the 24-yard line. Got to get to the 34 to reset the chain. No, 34-yard line, got to get to the 44 to reset the chains. No, I was right the first time. It was 24. Why did I doubt myself? Mooney will take the snap, hand it off in the fake. Dancing around, gets away from pressure. Mooney's going to run for his life. Receivers are out to block for him, and Mooney, no slide, he goes down. The man breaking through was Adi Ogunyemi. I don't have a bio for him, so all I have is a name. Adi Ogunyemi, number 64 for the Dublin Rebels. It was a first down running play, and Mooney got everything he needed to reset the chains. As the Rebels will take their second timeout, this could be critical, burning 2 timeouts now in the third quarter, and now especially that they trail by a touchdown. So who's got questions? We're heading into the fourth quarter, so this is the last call for questions. Barring an unexpectedly long stop in the fourth, I try not to ask for questions in the fourth quarter, especially of a tight game. And this one, it looks like it could be coming down to the wire, as UCD is up 12-6 on their cross-county rivals. A team UCD has played in the Shamrock Bowl each of the last 3 seasons, UCD winning twice, Rebels winning once, with UCD bookending the Rebels' victory. Rebels are now down to 1 timeout left, as the officials, I guess, make sure record keeping is squared away, as the sun splashes down on the AstroTurf field on the westernmost edge of UCD's campus. We're set to pick it up 1st and 10. Got to get to the 45 to reset the chains. Heavy formation right side. It's a quarterback choice, and the man breaking that up was Kenny McCarthy, as Mooney kept it and ran for as much as he could grab. And all he could get was 2 yards. Another Rebels player is down, face down on the field, as this is the 3rd call for medical attention that a Rebels player has had in this game. Both teams are now going to head over to their sideline as somebody for the Rebels coaching staff comes out to check on him. We're thrilled for all of you who have made us part of your Saturday. Thank you for allowing me into your homes, into your train rides, into your bus rides, into your vacations. Grateful for each and every one of you who have tuned in to join today. As the player is still, judging by the knee bending up, it's still face down. I believe it's worth pointing out that the last time UCD and Rebels met in a late season matchup, the Rebels had the lead. UCD was on the march and scoring to cut the lead. Following an interception play, UCD had the ball, but a Rebels player was injured in such a degree that he needed to take the ambulance that is required for AFI games and head to the hospital. They could not secure a backup ambulance for that game, and the game ended up being abandoned as a result. It was not replayed. From what the players on last year's team told me, the game was finalized at the score that it was on the final play, which allowed Rebels to win the game and gain a spot against UCD in the standings. So Rebels ended up finishing that year first, and UCD ended up finishing that year second. The stakes are not quite as high in this game. However, both teams could use a victory, as I'm still not certain who is down on the field for the Rebels, as whoever it is finally able to at least come to his knees. That's number 42, Jesus Aguilar, the 4-year veteran from Dublin. He's an architect and a father of 2. He was part of the last Shamrock Bowl championship run for the Rebels. And whatever injury he was dealing with, he needs some assistance coming off the field. As Aguilar coming off the field, as the Rebels defense needs to go back to work following a first down run that Mooney went out and got about 2 yards on. 2nd and 8. As the medical staff will check on Aguilar and allow play to continue. Play clock will wind here. Onwuka is in the backfield for UCD. 2 receivers to the right side, 1 spread out wide to the right. Wiley's going to join him over there in motion. Mooney had him all fooled in the passing play, looking for Wiley down the field, and it's broken up, incomplete. Tiernan Butler in coverage. 2nd and long turns into 3rd down and long. Every drive now between the Rebels and UCD, as, hang on a second, the officials are discussing something, and with the side judge making that motion, it is a penalty against the Rebels. Whether it's pass interference or holding, the yardage is going to result in a first down. As if my screen is telling me correctly, rain is starting to fall here at Dublin 4. This was part of the forecast heading into today's game, as that AstroTurf field is about to become more slick than it normally is. So instead of a 3rd down play, UCD gets a free first down inside of Dublin's 40 from the 39 of offensive territory. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Mooney in shotgun with an H-back in front. It's a fake handoff. Mooney will step out, and he's, I think running it, but as it results in negative yardage, loss of 4. 12-6 UCD on top here in this 3rd quarter of action. We're probably closing in on the finish of this third quarter if we're heading that direction. Everybody is on the right side of the quarterback here. Left side. Onwuka's got the ball, and Wuka's going to run, and he gets to a third and about 8 coming up here. Mooney relays commands to his receivers and backs. The offensive line resets their protection. 3 receivers left with the hash mark snap on the right side. Shotgun back is going to go out on an angle route. Mooney's going to swing all the way outside. It's incomplete. Wanted Wiley again and could not connect on a high ball. Butler had coverage once more. It is 4th and 8, and here comes UCD's punt unit. As two of UCD's offensive linemen are having words with the officiating staff. One of them's Patty Sweeney as he now runs off. So let's see if Pindy can pin the Rebels deep. A kick from his own 44. And this one sails out of bounds. It did not result in many net yards. The spot will come at the 28-yard line for the Rebels. First punt of the half for UCD, their third of the day. As both teams have now possessed the ball 3 times in this third quarter of action. Rebels only trail by 1 touchdown. Breslin will line up wide out to the right side of Doran. It's a tight formation on the right side as resetting who was in the backfield with him. It's another shovel pass play. This one, the backward pass and met in the backfield. Deep loss. As that one did not result in any positive gain. Second and 12. Rain now is looking like it's coming down harder at field level. Doran once again has Joe Kraus lined up with him in the backfield. And they delay the handoff attempt to him. Doran rolling out to his left. He gets hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Third and 12. Need to get to the 38-yard line in their own offensive half of the field as the rain definitely starting to fall now. We're grateful you've decided to tune in with us. Hopefully, wherever you are, it is nice and warm, or nice and cool, I should say. We're getting into those months where if I wish it's warm, some of you may complain that it's too warm wherever you are. Doran, and there was movement before the snap. They're going to stop the play. This is 3rd and 12, so if this is on UCD, it won't result in a first down, but it will make it easier. Officials are discussing who jumped first, as the umpire and the side judge, as it is a false start on the offense, 3rd down coming. As the umpire, I think he's protecting the ball inside of his referee shirt. That's the only explanation I have as to why he has the ball inside of there. And here comes another conference. This might be the first conference for excessive footballing today. turn on one of my lights so you guys can see me better. Yeah, it is a rainy day outside in Dublin today. As the officials will now pick up their flags and they will give the penalty to UCD on an offside. Interesting. They did call the false start. They then discussed, and then they march off an offside penalty to make this a 3rd and 7 as opposed to a 3rd and 17. Two receivers spread way wide, everybody else tight. Duran, he's going to run. Duran runs to his left, tries to potentially pull the ball to throw, and instead he's run all the way out of bounds, losing a yard on the play. Dublin's offense, other than a single play that resulted in the long touchdown, it's been a sputtering day. I think that I'm stuck on that word, but it's about as close a descriptor as I can come up with. It is still the 3rd quarter, as the teams will switch sides for the 4th, with UCD attacking the southeast end zone and Dublin moving to attack northwest. Low snap, bouncing toward the punter. Everyone stays away from the punter on contact. The kick is far. Sean Douglas fields it on a hop. Douglas will run up the middle and get what he can, as 5 Rebels players meet him there. Play stopped at the 35. Four punts on 4 drives for the Dublin Rebels, as there is a flag down where the coverage was. Ball at the 38-yard line. We'll see where the penalty takes it next. I'm not sure if everybody can hear that, as it's holding on UCD, so that'll back up the offense a little bit more. But the wind and the rain are now so loud that they're brushing up against my apartment windows. This is one of the joys of this position when you work in outdoor sports, is a lot of teams will understand the need for the electronics to be undercover. Although I do remember there was a game, gosh, this was 2018 at this point, as now that's the end of the quarter. So UCD goes 2 for 3 on their drives in the quarter for 2 touchdowns. No conversions were successful. And the Rebels punt, and punt to finish their 4 drives of the 3rd. I remember a hockey game I had to work between the Boston Blades and the Toronto Furies of the Canadian Women's Hockey League. This was after a lot of the national team players had centralized for Canada and the United States. So the best players for Toronto were all not playing. And it was so cold in the arena we were working the game. And you think, oh, it's a hockey rink. How cold could it be? No, it was single digits Fahrenheit inside. That's how cold it was. It was below 0 outside in Boston that day, and inside it was not much better. But Boston ended up winning the game, so I was a happy broadcaster. 2 in the backfield with Mooney as a pulling guard comes out from the left side to the right, gets a couple of extra yards on the play as McKenna falls forward for a gain of 4. So thank you for indulging me as we now hit the 4th quarter of action. As I finally remember to change the graphic to reflect the fact that it is the final quarter of regulation. Mooney, airing it out long, going deep, and nobody's open, incomplete. Wanted his brother Dara. Instead, it'll bring up 3rd and about 6. Mooney has two in the backfield with him, two to his right, one to his left. He rolls out to his left, staying behind the line of scrimmage, airs it out, incomplete as he's hit on the play. And the drive stalls. UCD will bring out the punt formation to set up the field position game. Let's see if Pindy can get this one away. His previous punt resulted in not a whole lot of net yardage. So let's see if he can make this one better. Snap from Dara Mooney is good. The kick is real nice. Flipping the field position, taking a friendly roll. It's fielded inside the 20, and it's barely brought out to the 21. Those yellow numbers look incredible in the shade. In the sun, they are really hard to read. You'll have to come and introduce yourself to me. It's our last home game, and I'm hoping that similar to today, I can head over to UCD's sports facilities to see the team beforehand, get the roster from the Panthers. So if you're there early enough to the O'Briens, I'm more than happy to chat, because but once I get the roster from the visiting team, I walk back to my apartment, and that is it for me there until the end of the game. A lot of bodies on the line for the Rebels. Duran takes the snap, and clock will finally start to wind as he is met deep in the backfield, double teamed on the tackle. If he got anything, it wasn't much. Looking forward to meeting you as well. Rebels emerge from their huddle as they'll put 6 men on the line for protection. They bring Kolokitis across the formation. Looked like a little bit of early movement from the left tackle. Not like it's going to matter as an underhanded toss gets it to Kolokitis. There's nobody out there. Kolokitis is running free down the sideline. He gets all the way inside the 30. Duran improvised and got an underhanded throw to Kolokitis for a long gain. It is a 1-touchdown scoreline, as Sam Duran improvised and got a great conversion out of it. Kolokitis lost in coverage again. Not sure what the deal is, but heavy storm clouds are brewing over the Irish Sea, as that is camera side. Hold on, everybody. The camera feed went blank very briefly, so I had to reset the camera feed manually. So it's still going to be 1st and 10 for the Rebels, as this is about the part where the camera freezed momentarily. Sorry, another one of the troubles of remote broadcasting is calling it off of an internet feed, and sometimes the internet stops working, sometimes the camera goes haywire. As I'm not sure what's going on here. Oh dear, this is not good. All right, everybody, I need a moment to figure this out. Okay, so it turns out the feed had to be reset on the field, and the Rebels got a touchdown on a tipped ball to Jason Kolakidis that we missed very briefly, but it is a touchdown catch once again for Kolakidis to tie the game at 12. One of my biggest fears with the remote broadcasting setup is that we miss a play like that is critical in this game. So the Rebels get their first scoring drive of the half. And I believe they've also called a timeout here. They only had one coming into this fourth quarter, as the yardage markers are away. There's no down marker. So that definitely means the Rebels have scored. As eventually the camera is finally moving back into position for the conversion. A critical extra point coming up here for Jack Cronin. Dropping to a knee is Tommy Breslin with a left-footed kicker. He makes this, it's a 1-point advantage for the Rebels. Snap, little botched, and this one able to get away. Tipped ball, it is still good. So the Rebels take a 1-point lead over UCD here in this fourth quarter. UCD will now get the ball right back as they go back on offense. Apologies to everybody about the technical snafus with the camera. But I can confirm it is now 13-12, Rebels over UCD. Rebels entering today's game desperate for a victory. Time left in the fourth. It just started, so my best guess is about 10 minutes to go, because there are 12-minute quarters, and UCD's first drive didn't last very long. Rebels didn't take very long on their second drive. Line drive kickoff the kickoff. So we reset play as Kusmarek taking it upfield will stop at the 34. What does Aaron Mooney have as he enters the fourth quarter for just the second game this season? I should point out Mooney was definitely battered after the Trojans game. He came to practice the next time with a rather nasty gash on one of his legs. He seemed to be in good spirits about it. He was making fun of the fact that his young son Miles was pointing out the gash, and was like, no, stay away from that. It was definitely interesting to hear him talk about that. Mooney's got two in the backfield with him. It's a handoff play. They get around one tackler and can't get away from a second. A loss of 3 on first down on the run by Finnegan. As he needs some help off the field, he's limping off. Rebels opt to keep the same 11 on the field. This isn't Canadian football. 2nd and 12 coming up again for the students in sky blue. Mooney drops back to pass. Mooney's thought about the short route, goes over the side, got a man open, first down, completed pass. His lone touchdown throw. Connection gets them beyond the midfield stripe. From the 43. Mooney has it. Quick, fake the handoff. This one's tipped right back to Mooney. Mooney's going to dive, and Aaron Mooney reception for 2 yards. Great heads-up play to realize I can just catch this and try to get more out of it instead of batting it down. Mooney will reset his formation. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right with 2 in the backfield. Looks like a rush is coming in heavy, and it's a run play. Run blockers out ahead, and UCD marching forward for another first down. A 1-point advantage for the Dublin Rebels is all that separates these cross-county rivals. Same formation as the previous play, a new set of downs. Handoff is faked. Underneath throw incomplete. And it's a flag coming in late on the coverage. Pass interference offense is the initial signal. And it looks as though the Rebels will take the yardage as opposed to the incompletion, set up 1st and 25. Second drive of the quarter for UCD. They've had 3 drives in each of the previous 3 quarters. The holdup is, where's the ball going to be spotted? The rain has let up as UCD goes back onto the negative side of the field. From the 44 is where they will have this snap. First down and 25. As our referee is having his last words with the UCD sideline. I can't tell precisely what this is about, but it does allow everybody an extra chance to rest here in this 4th quarter. Mooney fakes the handoff, going out left, and this one's a long ball. It is incomplete is the signal. 2nd and 25. Touchdown run by Alex Kusmarek and a touchdown pass to Dara Mooney are the scores for UCD, failing on the 2-point tries. And for the Rebels, 2 touchdown passes to Jason Kolakidis, with the most recent one having a successful extra point. Mooney passes it low, going for Sean Douglas. Got it, not a whole lot on the throw and catch, but it sets up a slightly more makeable 3rd down. Knowing UCD's aggressive style, they will likely be going for this if they get positive yards here. Mooney has it. Mooney's got to rush up the middle. He avoids it, but slips, falling back, trying to get his footing. And he's touched down on the sack. So they lose yards and will punt it away. Down by 1. Back-breaking offensive pass interference call pushed UCD outside of their scoring area and behind the sticks. Crucial punt coming up here for Sidney Pindy. He takes the long snap, gets it away. And the bounce takes a UCD hop. It is outside the 10, but it didn't roll into the end zone. So overall, a positive punt for Pindy. And the defense in a must-stop situation here, down by 1. Critical juncture of this game. Where else would you rather be? We want to thank each and every one of you for being part of this broadcast. Rebels lead by 1 with the ball in the fourth quarter. And a long way to go. Duran, handoff is to the right side, and this one goes nowhere. UCD's got 2 timeouts. Rebels have, I believe, 1 or 0. I did not see an official signal for the 3rd timeout following the touchdown catch by Kolokitis. I'm asking about time updates now. For a lot of UCD's previous games, the time in the fourth quarter was just, let's try to get out of here. Now it's serious. 1-point game, fourth quarter of action. Didn't get anything on first down. Duran takes the snap once more. Duran flushed, and he's going to be sacked. Goes down hard and heavy on the play. Rush came up the middle. I believe that was Hugh O'Connor breaking it up. There's about 5 minutes left. Starting defense is on the field for sure for UCD. Critical juncture of this game. Final 5 minutes of this fourth quarter of action. 3rd down and 14, or 3rd down and about 13 to go from the 10-yard line. The camera has decided to take a walk as the Rebels get set up. Camera comes back into position for Duran. He's going to roll all the way out. He's in the end zone. This could be a safety here. UCD has taken the lead on a safety. And that means 2 points for UCD, and they get to keep the ball, if I recall correctly. Indeed, that's what's happening. The momentum of this game has just changed on a 3rd down sack. The coaching staff is telling me it's Rory O'Dwyer, number 11, the defensive end rookie for UCD, who got the sack of Sam Duran in the end zone, and UCD is now on top. Football, where else would you rather be? I'm more upset the camera didn't catch it. What a huge momentum shifting play, as now how the turntables, as some people like to say. UCD went from down 1 to up 1, and now they're the ones with the ball. And on the safety kick, this one's going to roll, and UCD touched it. Uh-oh. Who's got the ball? The Rebels. So UCD gives up the safety punt. Oh boy. It's Rebels ball from the UCD 40. Wow. This is an incredible contest. Where else would you rather be, my friends? What a story unfolding here from Dublin 4. The Rebels give up a safety to go from up 1 to down 1, and then they recover a muffed safety punt. Here's Duran. Man in motion is Kolokitis. He's got both touchdown catches today. Going right back to him, broken up, incomplete. Second down and 10. At last check, it was about 5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. So we're likely under 4 to go now, or at least following the next continuation play. The Rebels do have a field goal kicking unit. Jack Cronin's been the one doing most of the kicking today. I'm not sure about his range. Here's Duran as the defensive line slides to the left. Rush coming from the linebacker position. Over the top, incomplete. Third down coming. I still can't get over how drastic the change in this game has been in the last 3 plays. Rebels went from playing milk the clock to a safety to giving the ball back to the defense to getting it back themselves. But now they're 10 yards from a first down here. And I've never seen Jack Cronin kick more than an extra point, but I'd be amazed if they go for a field goal without gaining any extra yards here. UCD going to play zone coverage here. Duran drops back, and whatever happened, it didn't result in positive yards, as the camera kept all the receivers in play. Fourth down here for UCD and the Rebels. UCD puts nobody back to receive a potential punt, so it doesn't look like they're punting. Rebels have to get to the 30-yard line of UCD to keep this drive going. I don't know how long the play clock is, but or if there's anybody down potentially. UCD leads 14-13 following a safety on the most recent Dublin Rebels drive, as everybody's just sort of standing around waiting for something to happen. Water bottles are out, which to me indicates that somebody is... Oh my, huge loss. Loss of 7 on the previous play. The camera didn't show it. So now it's 4th down and 17. The camera again will shift to show the coverage for UCD instead of the snap. Potentially, here's the game for the Rebels. Duran with 2 receivers to his left, 1 to the right. Heavy rush, and the pass comes. It's dropped. Turnover on downs as the defense bails out the punt return unit. Now UCD is up by 1, and they'll start the ball from the 43-yard line of the Rebels. Thank you again to every single one of you who has joined in with us for this wild story of a game we have here. Rebels jumped out to the early lead. UCD's offense finally kicked into gear in the third quarter. And following a Rebels touchdown, UCD punted the ball away. Then on a potentially long 4-minute offense type of drive, the Rebels gave up a safety, allowing UCD to take a 1-point lead here, 14-13. Then UCD muffed the safety kick, which the Rebels proceeded to lose 7 yards on and turn the ball over on downs. And now, with about 4 minutes to go from the last time check, and UCD is going to take a knee. I have a feeling we're under the 2-minute warning now, because otherwise, why would UCD be taking a knee? It's game over. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Rebels. UCD escapes Belfield with a win and are back in the playoffs. You can see the shock on my face of how that game ended. Holy cow. 14-13, UCD comes away with the W. Thank you to all of you. I thought there was more time left on that drive because of the incomplete passes. But, wow. Gosh, if that's how we're going to go here, tune in next time, everybody, because the UCD football team is right back in action against the South Dublin Panthers in a couple of weeks. I can't wait to bring that game to you, because if this game was any indication, my goodness, we've got a fun story to tell coming up later. Wow. UCD will eke out a victory over the Rebels and sweep the season series. A salute to all of you for hanging out with me on this Saturday. Thank you for having us be part of your Saturday. On behalf of all of us here at UCD American Football Club, my name is Max Wolpoff. Thank you for joining us, and to all a pleasant day.